guys, it is Jen with Mother Time. Welcome back to my channel and welcome here if you are new. Today is my 2024 Christmas gift idea video. I can't believe it. We are already at that point of the holiday season. Today I'm going to be sharing some brand new gift in a jar ideas. So if you love my gift in a jar recipes that I've shared in the years past, wait until you see these. I have some brand new ones as well as some easy, delicious, yummy homemade gifts that you're going to want to try. If you've never made candy pecans, let me know if you call it pecans or pecans. This is your year. You're going to want to try these. These are so good. They smell amazing and they are the perfect holiday gift to hand out to your family and friends. I'm also going to be sharing graham cracker toffee. It is basically a spin on Christmas crack that uses saltines, but I'm going to be using graham crackers, and wait until you try this. This is also perfect if you are going to a Christmas cookie exchange and you don't feel like really doing a lot of baking. Super easy to make and everybody is going to love it. I promise it is so good, but be warned, you're going to want to make extra because you are going to run out of it super quick. You're going to want to make some extra for yourself too because it is so good. So anyways, you guys, I'm so excited to head into the kitchen to get started. So grab yourself a hot tea, cup of coffee, hot cocoa, and don't forget that cozy blanket. Sit back, relax, and let's get started. All right, you guys, so here we go. First up, we are going to whip up literally some whipped honey. Have you ever tried whipped honey before? Let me know in the comments if you haven't. This is your year, just like the candy pecans, to make whipped honey. And if you have, let me know in the comments, what is your favorite way to use whipped honey? You guys, this is so easy. You're going to love it. You're just going to need some good, fresh, good quality honey. I like to use Nature's Nate, which I get at BJ's, which is like a Costco. If I don't get this, I usually will get it also on Thrive Market too. And you can use whatever your favorite honey is, but use a good quality honey. I'm adding that to my stand mixer. Now, if you want to kick it up a little bit, add a little bit of depth of flavor. You can add a little pinch of cinnamon and a little splash of vanilla too, or just keep it simple like I do and just add the honey. That's it. Then you're going to set it on high and whip it up. Depending on how much honey you use to whip, it's going to depend on how long you whip it. And also, of course, like what type of equipment you're using too. If you're using a hand mixer, it might take a little bit longer. For my 40 ounces, it takes about 25 minutes. I let it go, but of course your stand mixer is gonna get warm. So I do stop a few times just for a couple minutes, just to give my stand mixer a rest. But if you're gonna make a big batch, you may need to do it a little bit longer, but standard time is 20 plus minutes. So that's it. So in the meantime, while I'm letting my whipped honey whip, I'm going to cut out these tags. These tags you can download for free on my blog. It's an entire collection with all of the goodies I'm making in today's video. So I will link that below. And I'm just going to cut out these tags. They come in different sizes. They also come in different shapes. So depending on what type of container you're using. So there's your standard tags, which I'm using here. There's even some nice little rectangle ones. There's even round ones. You could use sticker paper. I'm using also craft paper, but you could use whatever paper you'd like. You could even use scrapbook paper, like on the other side where it might just be white. So on the opposite side, you'd have a really pretty pattern. Now I also created these little stickers, which I'm using some sticker paper. I'll link that below too, that I'm putting on the back of the tag. So it kind of gives like a little label of what it is and also the date that I made it. If you don't have sticker paper, you could just use regular paper and some double-sided tape or regular tape to attach this to the back of the tag. You don't even have to attach this. You could just write it on there as well. Now, the key to whipped honey is if you keep it at room temperature after it's done, it will be a thinner consistency. But if you like it a thicker consistency, you want to put it in the refrigerator. It may crystallize too. That's common. That can happen. And you just want to bring it then to room temperature just to kind of help with that crystallization. Now, I do check it and I want that frothy, creamy, whipped consistency. So I'm going to whip it for a few more minutes and then I'm going to add it to 1/2 pint mason jars. In the meantime, I'm just going to finish prepping my tags. So I'm just using a hole punch to attach a hole into my tags. And like I said, this comes in several different sizes because I'm just using small 1/2 pint mason jars for the whipped honey. If you're using a larger jar, you might want a larger tag. Now you could even use sticker paper to print it out and then stick it to the jar too. But look at that creamy, thick honey, and it tastes just like honey. But again, if you want to add a little dash of cinnamon, a little splash of vanilla, that even adds to the depth of flavor, but looks like a milkshake. Look at that creaminess going in there. It is so good to drizzle on oatmeal, on toast, on biscuits, which we're going to be making some biscuits at the end of this video. And then the lids I'm using, if you like these pretty lids, they're actually the lids that I have like a whole bag of these lids. They're from Antique Candle Co. I love their candles. So after I use their candles, I save these really pretty lids to use then on my jars. And what an easy and thoughtful gift, especially for the honey lover on your Christmas list. It's just so thoughtful. And that's what I love about these homemade gifts. There's such thought that goes into it. Nothing beats a homemade gift. And I love doing this year after year. So I'm just using some twine, keeping it very simple, wrapping some twine around this, and then attaching my tag. Now, like I also mentioned, I have a biscuit in a jar recipe coming up at the end of this video. So how perfect to make a little gift basket and add this whipped honey along with a jar of what I call Sunday morning biscuits, because nothing beats warm biscuits on a Sunday morning or on the weekend to serve with fruit, to make biscuits and gravy, to add some clotted cream, to make strawberry shortcake, or to drizzle on this delicious whipped honey with some delicious butter. Oh, it's so good. Doesn't get better than that, right? So here are these jars. So easy, and the best part, homemade. You can tuck these in a gift basket or a gift bag, add it with the Sunday morning biscuits, or just gift it like this. Next up, I can't believe after all these years of gift in a jars, I haven't done a brownie mix one. Well, the wait is over. Here it is. We are going to whip up brownie mix in a jar. Perfect for gift giving, but also make a couple extra jars for your pantry too, because you're going to want to have some of these in your pantry to make brownies because they're amazing. This is so quick and easy. You're just going to need flour, sugar, baking powder, salt, and of course some cocoa, and then some chocolate chunks, good quality chocolate chunks. I found these chocolate chunks at BJ's. They are Belgian chocolate chunks and they're so good. Now you could even add some walnuts, chocolate chunks. You don't have to add any, or you can even add some M&Ms, whatever you want, but the chocolate chunks, you guys, is a must try. I'm just going to add it to my jar, and then I'm going to stir it up. I'm using a pint-sized jar. Now you could do this in a bowl and mix it up and then pour it in your jar, or because I like to create an assembly line, I like to just do it all at once, and then I'm going to stir it in the jar, then tamp it down, and then add my chocolate chunks. So I like to mix it all together to give it that yummy brownie look. But if you like that layered look in a jar, you're going to add your sugar, flour, baking powder, and salt all together. Mix it up really good, tamp it down, then add your cocoa powder on top of that, tamp it down, and then add your chocolate chunks, walnuts, whatever you're using on top of that. But I like to mix it together because it looks so like a brownie like that. So, but you do you whatever you want. And I included all those instructions in the recipe as well as the tags, which I will include a link for all that in the description below. And again, I'm using pint-sized jars, so it really fills up, but there's enough room for everything. I promise. If you want to use a quart-sized jar, you can, but if you want it to fill to the brim, then you're going to want to use a pint-sized jar. And you can see here, I added the chocolate chunks, the yummy chocolate chunks on top, and it makes it perfect. It's the exact size. And then these will be in an 8x8 baking pan. So if you want to gift it with a 8x8 baking pan too, you can as well. So I'm just cleaning off the edges. Then I'm going to add my lid. Again, these are extra lids that I've had on hand of my Antique Candle Co. candles that I've had for years. And then I'm just going to wrap it with some twine and add one of the tags. These tags come in 2 styles, so I'm using one of each, and then the one I'm going to wrap around the jar, and the other one I'm going to use some double-sided tape to attach it to the jar, or you could use some sticker paper too. And to gift this, you can simply add it to a gift bag along with some paper shred. I always love using paper shred, or you can include it in a larger gift basket, maybe like I mentioned before with an 8x8 baking pan. So they have the baking pan, you could add a tea towel and really jazz it up too. But honestly, I love just whipping them up just like this. You can make a bunch of them to hand out to neighbors, to coworkers, put it in a bag. It's such a thoughtful gift, and who doesn't love brownies, right? And they're just going to need some eggs, vanilla, and melted butter to whip these delicious brownies up. And here are my jars, all done, so quick and easy. And it's also good to have a few of these on hand too, in case you have somebody come over for the holidays and you want to give them a little gift. Give them a jar of these delicious brownies. Okay, buckle up for this one and prepare yourself to want to make a batch of these. This is the graham cracker toffee. It is so good. So I'm using a jelly roll pan, which is just slightly smaller than a half baking sheet. So you could use a half baking sheet and that would work totally fine. If you have a jelly roll pan, which is just a little bit smaller, you can use that too, but don't go any smaller than that. So I like the Honey Made Honey graham crackers because they're already in squares. If you're using the sheets, you're just going to want to break them in half to have the squares. I'm using 24 squares and I'm going to set that aside. I put it on parchment paper. Then I'm just chopping up some pecans, or you can get your chopped pecans already chopped. And then I'm going to sprinkle that on top of the graham crackers. I'm using a cup of chopped pecans, but I have all of the measurements in the instructions, which I'll include a link for those in the description below, so you don't need to have to worry about writing all the instructions down. You can just grab them and print them and save them when you click on the link below. It also includes the printable tags. Now, of course, you can make your own tags, but if you like these tags, I've included those as well. And the reason I'm using the pecans here too is I'm also going to be making candy pecans next. So now to my saucepan, I have 2 sticks, 1 cup of butter that I'm going to melt down along with a half a cup of sugar. Now here's the key. So I'm melting it down. I'm going to bring it to a boil. Then once I bring it to a boil, I'm going to continue to stir it for a few minutes. Continue stirring it, and you just want to get it frothy and let that boil. You're cooking it down, but you're not really making a caramel, so don't have to worry about temperature and stuff like that. Then I'm going to remove it from the heat, add a splash of vanilla, and then I'm stirring that in, and then I'm going to pour this deliciousness on top of the pecans and graham crackers. Also, your main objective with this is not only melting the butter, but really making sure that sugar melts into, so you don't get that grainy texture that if you didn't melt it enough and let it boil enough, then sometimes you get like that graininess from the sugar. So that's your main objective with that, is not making the caramel like I said before, but really just melting that butter and making sure that sugar dissolves. And then I'm pouring that yummy deliciousness on top of the pecans and graham crackers, spreading it out with my spatula, and then I'm going to bake this in an oven for about 8 to 10 minutes until it's bubbly on top and those graham crackers are golden brown. Into the oven they go, and 8 to 10 minutes later, here they are all done. So I'm going to put it on a cooling rack and let it cool on the baking sheet for a few minutes. Then I'm going to carefully transfer that parchment paper, lifting it off of the baking sheet, put it on the cooling rack. Oh, I'm taking a little bite. Of course, you got to have the first bite for the baker, right? It's so good. I'm taking a minute, enjoying it. And then I'm going to let it cool completely. And then I'm going to break it apart and put it in airtight containers. So here are some tags again. I add a little piece of parchment paper into my little containers, and then I'm going to break it into the pieces. And these containers that I'm using are from Hobby Lobby. And then I'm going to add my tags and some ribbon. And what a thoughtful gift to hand out to your family and friends this holiday season. And not only are these great to gift, but also if you are going to a Christmas cookie exchange and you're short on time, you don't want to do a lot of baking, make these. Trust me, they will be a total hit. And I also wanted to mention too, you could even drizzle on some melted chocolate on top too, but honestly, try it this way first because I just love it. I think the chocolate makes it a little too sweet, like with the Christmas crack. I love the simplicity of just like this, but if you want to add some chocolate, I wanted to give you that idea as well. And again, you can download these tags for free on my blog. I'll include a link for them in the description below. It will include tags for everything I'm sharing today. The tags come in 2 different sizes too, so depending on what type of container you're using, you'll have the right size, and then also the instructions for each of them too. So you can get them all and then print out whatever you need. And these green containers I'm using are from Hobby Lobby this year too. I thought they were really pretty as well. And I love like that see-through top so you can see exactly what's inside. Every year I have my tried and true favorites that I have to make every year, but then I also love to add some new recipes in the mix to try every year too. Let me know in the comments if you love to do that as well. And also I would love to know, what is your favorite Christmas cookie to bake every year? Let me know in the comments as well. And for me, it's all about presentation. It's such a thoughtful gift. And I'm just using a container, some ribbon, and these cute little tags. But whoever you gift it to is just going to know such thought went into this. And they're just going to really enjoy it because nothing beats a homemade gift at Christmas. So next, I'm going to whip up, these are my favorite. I've been making these for years, candied pecans. Let me know again. I know I mentioned it at the beginning. If you have ever made candy pecans, whatever you like to call them. If you haven't, this is your year to try it because not only are they so easy, they are delicious and they will become a holiday favorite. I make these every year. And if I don't, well, I always do, but I'm thinking if I don't, people will probably know because they're just a holiday favorite. So again, all the instructions on how I make these, you can get down below. Click on the link and I'll get you all the instructions so you can make it too. But I'm just adding an egg white and some water, a little splash of vanilla, and I'm whisking it until it's nice and frothy. See, it's nice and frothy there. And then I'm going to toss it with my 1 pound of pecans. I'm using pecan halves. And then on the other bowl, I added some sugar, cinnamon, and salt. And then I'm going to toss that with the pecans that I tossed in the egg white mixture. Then I'm going to pour it on a baking sheet and bake these in a 250-degree oven for 1 hour. They smell amazing. You know, when you go to a place that has the candied and roasted pecans and you just get that smell, it smells so good. So these are so easy. You can double the batch if you want as well. And then you just put them on the baking sheet and they are a delicious holiday treat. And I like to gradually add my sugar mixture. So I added a little bit, tossed it with my pecans, and then I add the rest of it. Now I have my baking sheet. So I'm going to pour it on my baking sheet that I lined with parchment paper. And then I want to spread it out so it's a nice single layer. But when they roast in the oven, they all kind of like clump together too. So you get those really nice chunks of pecans. And you can break it up once they're cool too. But I love getting like those clusters. They're so good. So I have it in a single layer and now I'm going to pop them in the oven for 1 hour. And just like that, they are done. 1 hour has passed. It smells so good. I wish you could smell the aroma of these baking in the oven. It is so good. So now I'm going to let them cool completely. And then once they're cool, again, you can put them in whatever kind of container you'd like. And for these, I'm using these little bags I got at Hobby Lobby too. And again, I love that little clear opening so you can see exactly what's inside. So I'm going to add my pecans, my candied pecans, to each of the bags, and then add a simple little tag with some ribbon. And I also like to break them up too. So I just kind of take the parchment paper and kind of just crunch them up and get these nice chunks and clusters of the candied pecans. They are so good. They're addicting. You can't stop eating them. I just love having them out for the holidays, but also to gift them too. So again, I'm just going to split this in half and add half to each of the bags and then just close it shut. And this is great to just have on hand too. If you need a little gifty to hand to someone, these are the perfect homemade gift. I'm just using a hole punch to add a hole to the little top part of the bag, not to open the bag, but there's a little part where I can add a hole punch, and then adding a hole punch to my tags and then attaching it to these gift bags with some ribbon. And I so enjoy, this is so relaxing. I love doing this every holiday, taking my time and making these little gift packages up. It is just rewarding, and I get so much joy out of doing this. And I'm so happy after all the years that I've shared these gift in a jar ideas that you enjoy these too, and you're giving these thoughtful gifts to people. It just really warms my heart. So I'm so happy that you guys always enjoy these gift ideas that I share every year too. So here are the candied pecans ready to gift for this holiday season. And last but not least, for today's video, I'm making what I call Sunday morning biscuits. So easy and perfect to go with the whipped honey, but also if you do maybe a jar of jam, you could also gift it with that too. But wait until you see. I have a couple of cups of all-purpose flour, adding a little bit of sugar. I like to add like 2 tablespoons of sugar. You could add 3 depending on your desired sweetness. I'm also adding some baking powder and some salt. That is it. And whisking it together, mixing it together in my quart-sized jar, adding a lid, and then adding my tag and the perfect addition to go with the whipped honey. And then when to make these, you're just going to need some butter and some whole milk. So I'm just wrapping the tag with some ribbon. So pretty and so easy, and just a thoughtful gift to gift this holiday season. And again, you can get the full instructions as well as these free printable tags on my blog. I'll include a link in the description below. And the biscuit tags come in 2 different styles. So you just cut them out, and then you can either attach it to the jar with some double-sided tape or tie it on with some ribbon or some twine. And just like I said, so quick and easy, and a great pantry staple to make for yourself too. And you're just going to take this mix and add it with some melted butter and milk to make some delicious Sunday morning biscuits. Okay guys, that is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a big thumbs up if you did, and let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram at MotherTime. Check out my blog, mothertime.com. If you've enjoyed this video and you are not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you click that subscribe button so you never miss a video. Okay guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me here today, and I will see you guys very soon in the next video. Bye guys.